Alright, so it's May 3rd, 2018. I'm just shaved. Went to Chico today, got some shit done. Made some blogs. And wanted to make another blog. So still wanted to continue my drama. And there's plenty of it, so let's see. So let me continue. And this is just like the places that I've stayed. I have conversations off camera, just discussing this stuff or letting out my anger or whatever, or feelings or issues. So sometimes I'm not sure what I haven't said, or I really don't feel like saying the same thing that I said. Or if a day goes by, I have like 3 things that I wanted to say, and then and then by that time, beginning of the day to the middle of the day, my emotions change. So I already went through a bunch of stuff today, and my mind is kind of already ready to just work out and punch the air and stuff. But I wanted to go through some facts so that I can get to this next part. So as I drove through Chico today, looking for all my murals. Actually, yeah, let me just finish. Oh, yeah. Okay, so what's the other one? So living there, and then when I was living, man, there's some deep shit that it's like, I don't know if I'll ever be ready to talk about that on camera. As far as my love life stuff. So, man, okay, like I said, it's starting to get difficult. Okay, so let's just do the factual stuff. So, around, what the year, 2013 maybe? After living in, okay, so what's weird is, like, what's her name? Lily. So Lily, first day I got there, she was like, she gave me a bottle of tequila. She's like, hey, here's a present. So I don't know, I mean, that's nice, but it was kind of like, what? And I had just left the other house, which was a bunch of drama. Those guys are always trying to get me to play, what is that called? I don't know. The beer pong. Twice they made me go. Like that group, the group that I was living in, that hot chick was like trying to get, I don't know, they were like, hey, we're gonna beer pong or whatever. And then I was just sitting there just because I was trying to be nice, and sit in the living room with the people. And so they're like, yeah, let's play beer pong. And you just kind of feel the vibe, like that's why I was kind of like, man, to begin with, for the whole time. Like, I wasn't sure if it was just, a lot of stuff have happened all through that time. So anyway, and then the group of, I don't want to of Sky people, the drummer, Cody's friends, and he had like some other bandmates from Paradise, like this girl Mallory, really good singer. But I don't know, her group of friends. In Paradise, there was like this bass player dude, and they seemed kind of nice, but I don't know. And it's funny because they mixed in like there was this other guy that he was the guitar player for the other band, which they had Cody, the drummer guy, was in the other band, and he was a drummer for the, I don't know what they were called, Mastodon or something, I don't know. And then so they like had this guitar player guy, and I had seen that guy when I was drawing over at Farmer's Market. Well, okay, so there was other guy, I don't know if he was Russian or what he was, like he was like, had an accent, but so they came to the table to buy something, and there was this girl and a guy. I don't know if she had like a tattoo of like something on her leg, like a unicorn or something, I don't know what it was. But she was like a blonde girl named Tanya, and really, really good looking girl. She looked like Taylor Swift ish. But a little bit more like blunt talking, kind of like, you know, very monotone, deeper voice, kind of like kind of like, I don't know, I can't explain it. Like, she was cool. Like, she would smile, and I ended up, I had her help do some art stuff and drew her and everything. But she was with this other guy, and they came to the table together. And that guy I had met later. He played, I guess, he played music too. That, like, the open mic stuff. I don't know his name. He was blonde, kind of. I don't know how to compare him to. So that's okay. So I met her there, and then so she was a daughter of a Navy guy or Air Force guy. I think an Air Force guy, and the Air Force guy I never met, but she had a brother too, I guess. I mean, I saw her there, and then I was like, I don't know how we even talked or whatever. I think I seen her a couple times. People used to come by the farmer's market table all the time and be like, hey, and have conversations. So, a small enough town, you see him again here and there. And so she was going out with the guitar player guy, or something like that guy that was playing with the drummer that I ended up meeting like a year later. But she helped out with the mural at the U-Bar when I was doing the Einstein. I started adding animals in later, and she painted one of the birds. She painted a bird on the giraffe, and helped out with the whale. And I don't know what else she did. But she was there for a couple days. She was really good looking too, so I was like, dang. But there was no chemistry, which she ended up being gay, I guess. You know, like, I had her on Facebook, so she was on my Facebook, and she would always, and then later, after she was with that guy for a year or so, she ended up being with this other girl, this Mexican dark-haired girl, short-haired, dark-haired girl, and they were like boyfriend and girlfriend forever, or whatever, girlfriend for years. I don't know, because I had her on Facebook. So, but before that, so she was the girl that was with the guitar player guy, and he was like a short dude, and she was like really good looking. So all of her friends would always, like, you can see on the Facebook, they would joke like, how the hell did you get with her, blah blah blah, all this stuff like that. His friends and stuff, and it was true. It was like, damn, like, yeah, how'd that happen? But she would like, I'd be like, oh yeah, she was an artist, so she was talking to me about art, and then I was like, well, yeah, let me draw you. And so I was at the park, and, 1 mile or whatever, where the water is, where the pool thing is, and then so I drew her there once, and we had talked the whole day, and did like 2-3 watercolor things of her. And it was just like totally just buddy stuff. It was totally it was a good interaction where she told me about her life or whatever, and I don't know if I told her about my life, but it was interesting, like military kid. And then so that's how I knew this guy. So the guy ends up showing up again in my life. He's like the guitar player with this other guy, and she went. And cool thing with her, she was like, while the drama was going on, she said something like, she did the Yoda thing where fear turns into evil or something like that, or hate or something. And kind of, like I said, people were checking me out, so I think she got that vibe for the community, where the community was like, worried about aliens in 2012, or whatever they thought about me. But she was not from that town, so she had that perspective of it, and so the community kind of was like, what? So that's kind of what I knew about her. And then before that, when she did the thing, I kind of went and cleaned it up, and I had accidentally painted a little bit over her signature, and then so I just kind of went all around the leaves and everything, and bird and everything, and kind of just was like, okay, I'm just gonna clean it all up. And so I did, and then she said something. She's like, oh, I brought my brother to look at it and show him what I did. And then my signature was gone, and why'd you do that? And I was like, oh, and I told her that, and she was like, oh, because at first she was mad, and I was like, damn, like. So that I felt bad about it. I was like, you put your signature back on there, like. I mean, I didn't even pay her nothing. I know I got that rap where artists be like, oh man, fucker didn't pay me. Most of the time it was just like, okay, well, you kind of just offered to come help out, because I think she was it her? She was, like I said, she was a good artist, and she was kind of like, oh yeah, I don't find time to draw, I don't have inspiration and all this stuff, because she showed me some of her drawings, and I was like, oh. I think I was doing stuff at the Blue Room, backdrops for the Blue Room at another show. And when I think back on some of those experiments, I'm like, fuck, those fuckers. But this time was alright. I mean, I don't know. Steve Swim, he was one of the dudes, one of the guys at Duffy, him and Ben something, were the guys for the Blue Room, and they were like the new directors and whatever, and creative directors and shot callers for the Blue Room, underneath the other guys. But so I was doing something. I was doing helping her with or she helped me. I was helping them, and her and Oscar, the Mexican dude, were volunteering too, and I was volunteering, so I didn't get paid or nothing. So we all were there just painting. I don't know, and I was kind of, spearheading the project, so I had to make sure that it got done. So I, of course, through all this stuff, like how I was always the one that was there extra and making sure, all the days that the other artists and the musicians and the, business people and whoever. So I was the one first one there, last one to leave kind of thing. So that's kind of the relationship I had with some of these artists, was like I was just doing stuff for free too. Just, they asked me to do the project, and I was doing it, and then the other artists were around, and I was like, yeah, you want to join in, and so they did. And so most of that stuff, like are the artists, nobody got paid, and at the beginnings of all that stuff, I was only getting paid like total minimum. Like if it was 5 days work, they would pay me for half a day, kind of stuff, and that wasn't even like, that was beginning wages. So so there was not enough to go around most of the time, and most of the time there was just artists saying, hey, can I help out? And I was like, yeah, no problem. So that was kind of her thing too. Even it was my project for the U bar, but I was like, hey, I'm doing this mural, you want to help out? So most of the time we never discussed money. The only one that we discussed money was, and there was like 2 instances that people kind of got like, hey, you didn't pay me, or I heard about it, and I was like, what? Was this girl that I discussed before. It was Cocina Economica, and she was walking by, and I was like, yeah. So she helped out for a couple days. She did do a lot, she was there to work, kinda, you know what I mean? Like come in the middle of the day and then work for a few hours and then leave, and then come again the next day or later in the week and work a few hours and then leave, and then that's it. And I was there like for 2 weeks, and so it was kind of like, well, I wish I could have paid you. So I don't know. So that was one of them, and I think she was expecting to get paid. I don't know if I didn't pay her, or why I didn't pay her, or what. But we never discussed money, so I don't know. I don't know. That one was kind of a drop ball. And then, what was another one? Oh yeah, and then this other drummer guy helped me out with a Facebook page, and I guess he was expecting to get paid for social media services, and I never paid him. I didn't even know we were in a band together, and he was like, didn't say nothing until after, and then he kind of burnt me by leaving. Like he was like, a couple months later, he's like, oh, I'm leaving town. And I'm like, fuck, dude, like, why do we even start something if you're not even gonna finish it? As far as music project or whatever. So that's kind of the issue with the money thing. Another one was Sarah and Julia working on my small business thing. They'd come help out and scan art, and I tried to pay them. I tried to pay them as much as I could. It was just so I kind of feel bad about that. So I give them money here and there, $50 here, $50 there. During the time, I was trying to give them gas money and food money, and giving them perks of munchies and all that, So I was trying to accommodate the young artists, but it was kind of like an internship, you know what I mean, where the intern, I guess, expected to get paid, but you're like, well, you're interning, you can't, I'm teaching you how to like do the job, and you're not doing it how I want to do it. So basically, it's almost like twice as much work. You're kind of getting output, but you're doing twice as much input to train them. But what I learned from that was, like, you got to pay people if you expect to discipline them when they don't do the work right. So that was a catch-22, where you're getting people to help out, but they're not doing the job. They're not meeting the deadlines, and they're not getting it done right, and they're killing time. They're always on their phone, or those 2 girls did a really good job. Like, they worked with me, and I really appreciate everybody's help. That I've done a lot of free work for people, a lot of free work, and I think really that's the basis of success. Is you go in and you just make things happen, and things come to you. So every time I did do a project for community, or whatever a business, I would get twice as much work, paid work from other people, or 3 times as much throughout the years, even more, the more I was working. The only issue with that, it was the drama that comes along with being out and about. So all this drama kind of just started piling up. But there was a lot of good things that went with the as an artist, going out and working, being the go-getter and making things happen. So I guess I was in that mode. So those girls, I tried to pay them as much as I could. Just when the money came in, like, a little bit and rarely. So just didn't see fruition. So Sarah was one that she put in a lot of work. She was actually like, wow, she was the worker that was able to get stuff done and meet the deadlines and know what she's doing. So I still owe her some money, and Julie knows that. She was like, oh, I was like, well, I'll give you $50, I'll give you $100 here. And she was like, yeah, well, you need to give some money to Sarah. I was like, yeah, that's true. So that's the only person that I can think of that I owe anybody anything as far as trade for work or time given or anything. Just for the comic and the mural, she helped out a lot on the mural, both of those girls. But that was also just like trade. But I do owe them a little bit more. That was the last thing I could think of, and really the only. But if you feel like you're one of those people, you can feel free to drop me a line, drop me an email, and we can discuss it, and I'll get you what we decide on. So that's my little throwing that karma stuff to the wind, so that if it catches anybody, let me know. You have no excuse to be mad at me for that stuff. So I met the guitar player guy, and then what else was that? So so they would try to get me play beer pong with them. And when I was just sitting there playing guitar, they'd be like, oh, and then they call it, and then everyone would leave. So I was like, what the fuck is up with these guys? These guys are all... So really, like, I was getting fucked with from a lot of different people. Whether they wanted to videotape me or hitting camera shit or whatever. Like, they were all... Everyone around me felt like they had an agenda, and they did, and they know they did, and everyone felt justified, obviously. But I really put, like, this is one of the things that I think about, like these people that feel justified by being an asshole because they thought I was an asshole. As you go through these blogs and shit, and you find out, for everyone that, if you guys are looking at these blogs, whoever you are, whether you're a normal person or someone that I knew or someone that, if you came at me negatively, and then through these blogs, if you find out anything that you thought was true that it wasn't true, or wasn't what you thought it was, then I'm leaving it to karma, really. But feel free to throw some money into my PayPal. You can find me on my Instagram and throw some PayPal money. $5, $100. If you really did some shitty stuff, feel free to pay me what you owe me, and you might have good karma. I'm trying to do the same. So if you really feel like something happened like that, if you saw me somewhere, if we're walking around and you saw me and you're like, oh shit, I did that guy dirty, then that's probably a good indicator that you should probably throw money in my PayPal. or you know, if you're a guy and you did me dirty, and I know and you know, or if I find out or whatever, words are better to fix things up, because they do fix things up. I mean, I'm not really looking for any apologies or money, to tell you the truth. But there's some people that I felt did me pretty dirty. And if God puts us in the same place and whatever, so, you know. But we'll see. As far as, you know, there's some fucked up shit, you know what I mean? Like, this ain't funny stuff when it's real. I mean, it's funny stuff, you can watch it on YouTube or whatever, but it's not really funny to me. So, you know, being on this YouTube talking about this stuff is not making me happy, and it's wasting my time. That's the main thing. These people, everyone's wasting my time for whatever reason. It's gotten to this level of craziness. And I know people saying, "Oh, she's just making it up," but I'm explaining to you all the shit that's happening, and it hasn't stopped. It's kind of, people are trying to be like, "Oh, cool about it," because I'm speaking up now. But it took me a lot of wasted years. I was thinking how many days that is. 365 days. How many hours that is. How many years, these last 2.5 years of fucked up shit. You know, I'm trying to get to that point next. But 2.5 years, that's a lot of fucking days. That's like almost 1,000 days. 1,000 days. What can you do with 1,000? What if somebody took 1,000 days from you, or your mother, or your son? 1,000 days from you. And that's not even how many days have been taken away from me. My happiness, my joy, my time, my effort. You know, I've tried to make the most out of it. And, you know, I'm not going to complain and say, "Oh, it's everybody's fault but mine," and everybody, you know, that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, you know, the world wants me to own up to what I've done. It's like bullying. It's like, dude, like, 2 wrongs don't make a right, first of all. And then misconceptions, you know, trying to, whether good or bad, like, you know, this doesn't feel fun when people open your business and you have to be on YouTube talking about it. Like, because there's really no other way to unbury myself. Like, I've tried every other way, like, and people were still fucking with me. Whoever the culprits are, if they're really people that really feel like I did them dirty, like, totally did it wrong. And if some people aggravated, what I see is people aggravating the situation from both sides, like both. So there's all this shit going on about me, but not including me in the situation, only by throwing dirt on me. So who could throw more dirt on me? There's a competition of who can throw dirt on me and laugh about it. So while I was taking that shit, while I was having to getting kicked when I'm down, really. And I know Chico community feels like, you know, they were maybe helping out, or everybody, you know, the fucking police people or whoever the fuck felt the need to keep this all hush hush. Really fucked up. Really fucking, like, it could have been better if they would have just let it, included me into the situation. And because I wasted a lot of years and if you want to blame me for anybody else's hurt feelings after the fact of whatever, like, the shit multiplied for me and it multiplied for them. And now, you know, like I said, aggravating the situation. So I really feel the people that were aggravating the situation were doing it on purpose. People felt like they wanted to throw me in the garbage bin so that they can, like, they can, like, think they're funny or whatever. And then it got fucking crazy, dude. Like, I can't even explain it. And I put it on God's hand. I put it in God's hands because this shit shouldn't even happen. I don't know how it got here. But through it has taught me a lot, made me stronger. Basically, I feel sometimes life throws you in the fire to make you become what you're supposed to become. So I think that might have happened, and I'm not saying that I'm blameless, because I'm not. Till this day, I'm not. But I'm saying, this includes more than just me. I'm not like alone over here. Like, it's terrible to feel mistrusted, or feel misunderstood. And I'm not the only one. When I hear like these songs from these people, and I'm not the only human being that's ever felt this way. So I'm not saying that I'm special and, oh, poor Daniel, But, just, when we interact, if we ever interact, I might not be as tolerant as I've been, because I've had to deal with a lot of stuff that might not just be from one place and one person. Came from a lot of different people. I got to see the worst of people. I got to see the worst in their eyes. I got to see the worst in their actions. So I still see it. I've always tried to see the best in people, but through that, I had to see the worst in people I know. It doesn't feel good to be lied to. And I know people want to say, oh, well, he's an asshole and he's this and that. If you really knew my story, then maybe there would be everybody that's ever came up to me and asked me what was going on and through a situation or whatever, always had a 180 turnaround, or at least a 90-degree turnaround, where they're like, oh, their attack turned into 50%, like, oh, maybe I wasn't right in my perception. And I thank those people. I thank those people for actually having the goal to confront me in a real way, not in a side way where, like, I'm getting kicked and you're just like, oh, sorry, you're getting kicked over there. And, say a little thing here, saying what other people are saying about me as a way to think you're helping me out. Instead, really, you were just adding to my calamity. And like I said, whoever was running the show did it. I really feel they did it on purpose. They were trying to fuck with me on purpose. Because if we had a conversation, it would have been already cleared. It would have been already done with and finished, and everyone would be better off. So, like I said, the stuff's on my table escalated. I feel like I was used as a pawn in these other people's game, and they'll keep doing it if I let them. And if you guys let them, really, like, they're fucking with all these people telling them fake shit, trying to get them, all these people that are not smart enough to find out on their own, or not to follow their own instincts or whatever. They believe whatever somebody else tells them, people in authority or these manipulators. There's people that come in the world that are trying to do the best they can. They're not perfect, but they're game changers. They come in and they make shit happen, and they affect their world in a positive way. But they get the negative. They attract these other people, and these other people have no talent. They have nothing good for themselves to work on their own. Like, they're parasites. They're these people that come in that seek to take advantage of the good people of the world. And they come in and they want a challenge. They want fucking drama. They want like some excitement in their life. So they fucking, all they do is go from host to host, and they like suck the energy out of the room to absorb it for themselves. So instead of creating energy and being like a help to the people around them, they come in and they parasite on the people that have natural gifts. They'll come in as your friend, they'll come in as your partner or whatever. They'll try to be like, hey, you know, buddy, yeah, let's do it, yeah, we're cool. And then they'll start switching it up, like behind your back or whatever. Like they'll try to start doing stuff that, you know, trying to manipulate you and the people around you and whatever for power. It really ends up being for power. So instead of helping the situation or making it better, they come into the world making shit worse. And you know, I've tried to be the best I could. I'm not saying that I didn't come in and fuck shit up here and there, but it was never intentional. It was never like, oh, I'm gonna come and fuck shit up. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So my lesson was that you can't just go into the world and do whatever you want. That was my lesson. You can't just like, hey, you know, there's not just being selfish. Like those times when I was selfish, I will admit to my selfishness here and there. Like not even 50%, like maybe 30% of my interactions that are all here have been for selfish reasons that I could have did better. You know, I could have been better. I could have did better. But the other 70%, I did good, and I've done good to help out. And 100%, maybe almost 100%, like I tried my best. Well, I would say 100%. I tried my best. I could have did better here and there, but you know, I tried. I really did. I'm trying right now. Like, fuck. Who else would go on YouTube and talk about this shit? I don't know if people are seeing it. But if you are, and you ever call me a friend or whatever, like, know that I'm not here to manipulate nobody. You know? And that I'm going to continue doing the best I can. You know, I really feel these parasite people came in to try and stop me from doing what I need to do. You know, whether it's a natural yin and yang in the world where, you know, we're all a mixture of light and dark or whatever. I don't even like that metaphor, but we're all a mixture of whatever. Selfless and selfish. But we all have like a counterpart in the earth. Like there's counterparts. There's people that are your opposite. That you guys just attract each other, but you guys really like are not gonna get along in this world. Like fate brings you together to destroy each other. And that's ends up being your challenge, whether it's within yourself or the universe creates something like that just for you, you know. And for the people in Chico and all that stuff like that, like, man, I really did try to help, like, and then I don't know, I felt like I got done dirty. And I know people were saying, oh, it's this reason or it's this reason or this reason. This is why we felt so self-righteous to come and fucking... Really, it fucked up my loved ones, parts of my loved ones. Like, I can take shit. Like, fuck, dude, I don't... Like, you want to fucking fuck with me, but it's fucked with my family and friends and shit. So this is like some God stuff. Stuff is, you know, God's gonna throw some lightning on some motherfuckers, like, and has. So I'm trying my best to not be part of that. So I'm trying to do the best. I'm going off instinct. I'm trying to do the best I can. So with that said, as I 40 minutes, this is the only way I could even explain that. After actually, you might think I'm crazy right now by saying all that, but the people that would know the drama know exactly what I'm saying. And as far as like, so I moved to Sarah's, my son's mom's house, and Brian, which was her husband at the time, and they had gotten a divorce, I guess, a year earlier. And my son, which was like 13, 14, 15, I don't know. So I think 15. So it gets deep, right? And Dan Seward was living next door. And those issues already with that, which I wanted to go through, but so all this stuff is all mixed in. Chico people all mixed in. Everybody's part of the drama. The only people that weren't part of the drama at this time was my nieces and maybe my son, and I don't know. And then my mom and my dad, and maybe my family, some family in Gilroy, like the older people. But everyone else was like all in the drama. What turned the page was that they included my nieces and my son and my parents, you know, and everyone else I know. Even my ex-girlfriend, you know, like, that's some fucked up shit. Like, so, whatever, for good or bad intentions, you know, I can't. The only thing I think is you're misinformed enough, or you're so self-righteous that you really think that you have more answers about my life than I do. And, but there's some people that came in for whatever reason, like, anyway, some secret fucking agent shit. Like, really? Like, I can't imagine normal people doing this stuff. Like, all I could think of is like, damn, this had to be political. This had to be like military shit. Like, I can't imagine like normal people. Like, there was some hints of stuff here and there, but so I don't know if the white people just got all together and they're like, we're white people and we're gonna take revenge and hang this Mexican. And so that's what they did in Chico or Butte County or California or America. I don't know what they were thinking, but they really did do that. They like came in and they fucking, you know, try to bury me in a hole. And they want to use these other people as a catalyst and say, oh, we did it for this person and this person, and that's not the truth. That's not. People did it for their own self-righteousness, and if they chose to do it for that, because they didn't ask me. I know they said they asked me or whatever, or they maybe fucking hypnotized me or whatever the fuck you guys did, but like, how could it be that much? They escalated the fire. It's like trying to put out a fire by adding fucking gasoline on the stove. Like, that's what you guys did. Like, you guys just, whether good or bad, like, come on, man. Like, 5 years, 3 years, 8 years together, like, that's a lot of fucking years. 8 years is a lot of years. You know, like, I'm gray haired now. Like, that's some fucked up shit. I got premature gray hairs. Like, that's, you know, come on, man. Like, nobody's life is perfect. I'm gonna accept the situation and keep going with what I'm doing. But I'm gonna use the situation for whatever reason, you know, like I don't mind dying tomorrow. So, but okay, so I'm at my son's mom's house, working at Butte here and there. Seward is across the street. I had like a million issues with that after Voice magazine. Like there was like 500 things that happened in downtown Chico that escalated all like, you know, manipulation and stuff. Some of those had to do with Muros, you know, like with the girl that I loved, and I probably would have married her if all the do-gooders didn't want to try to get in there and be like manipulate the situation so that we weren't, you know, there was a few girls that tried to get me and her in the same place while she was with some other guy, and the girls were up on me so that they could have that. They did it a few times, and you know, these people are dirty, man. Like, fuck, dude. Like, I don't know who's gonna deny it, but you know, I haven't got to that part of the story yet, but you know, that's on my mind right now. You know, that's like, it's been on my mind. All this shit's been on my mind for years. I just haven't been able to talk about it or put it out there in the world. But like, you can't do somebody much dirtier than than fucking do some of that shit. Because she kept coming back. And she would have kept coming back, and we probably would have made it work. But at the same time, we might not have been right for each other. But that was nobody else's decision to come and try to manipulate this situation. You know, people think that you can put love on paper, and oh, he should have been okay by now. He should have been fine. He should have moved on by now. Like, that shit doesn't. You can't move on, and you got to go through that emotional shit before you can move on. And that's one of the lessons I've learned too. You know, no matter who says what, I know. Not to say that I'm still stuck in that situation. I'm not. But it took a lot of years to get out of it. And unresolved shit, you know, I had to resolve. And I'm resolving it through my art, which I hope she forgives me or whoever, if it goes out into the world. I'm trying not to make it like that. But people question, you know, my art and what it was made from. Try to manipulate my, you know, that's fucked up. My art is my baby. So, like, people fucked with my art. And that, you know what I mean? Like, damn. So anyway, I don't even want to go into this story because, you know, these are people that I'm not as cruel as some of these other people. So I don't know. I'm trying to keep my karma clean. So if I go into it, that's just going to keep going. And like, the people that you know the most are the ones you can talk the shit about the most. And I've done that enough to these people. Off the record, even people, I don't know if people recorded me, but really, like, I got nothing but love for people. But I might go through it. It was just the facts. And this is like, it's already going to be 50 minutes, but the facts are just that I lived over there after I don't know how many months. Rented half the house, or it was like $400 or something like that. For like, she was like, oh, well, if you're gonna rent it over there, pay them money. Why don't you just pay me money? And she was like, I'm going through a divorce. But it started before that. It started with the fucking cosmic grounds and shit. And the fucking, like, there was, like I said, we hadn't hung out for a long time, and then all of a sudden they want to hang out. And I put it in the place where Chico was doing some fucked up shit. So I don't know what they did before that. And it goes back to Seward and all this, like, people, Chico people, Butte County people, fucking alt-right people. Who knows who the people are? I don't know, but it was some shit that happened before that. And so when now that I look back on it and think about it, like, it was all part of, there was a pivotal moment in that time. So I don't know when it started. It could have started a long time ago, but really, like I said, it could have been fixed before it became an issue. It really could have. And you know, I don't know who else was affected by it more than me, but it did affect my family. It's affecting my family right now, you know, like it's affecting my relationships with my family. Like, I was thinking about this too. I'm gonna end it with this. Like, imagine, like, people think they're so self-righteous. Maybe I'm assuming, and I don't want to assume. I'm trying to, you know, do the best I can with these blogs and not go off on people. But imagine your life. You know, imagine walking in my shoes for a moment, and as much wonderful things have happened in my life, the things that are out and about and people want, like, imagine everybody being in your business, and everything that everyone that ever hated you or didn't like you or whatever got together and put shit out on you, talked about their point of view about you. Just your life, like a human being, as a human being to another human being, every single person watching this. Imagine if you're over 25, you can't, like, you're 16, nobody fucking, you did shit in your life. 25-year-old to 30-year-old, and then even go to 40. Imagine all the people that fucking ever felt that they, like, whatever, your co-workers, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sisters, your cousins, your kids, your ex-girlfriends, get it, just your ex-girlfriends or ex-boyfriends and their friends. Put them in and give them money for everything that they have negative to say about you. Give them like $5, $20, $50 for the worse, the more money they get. And see what they say about you. And then put that into the world. And let everyone that don't know you hear what everyone else has to say about you, these people. And then have somebody fucking follow you around for 5 years and videotape you taking a shit. And, you know, every girlfriend, you know, most intimate moments, you know, having that happen. Everyone that you know, everyone that you've ever known, be involved in your life for the next 5 years, 3 years. And then tell all your nephews, nieces, grandkids, and everything, have them in on it too. And then we can talk about what happened, how I feel about it, the situation. And if you think I'm such a bad person about who I am and what I've done or whatever, you know, look at society first of all. Like, people want to be like, oh, you know, he's this and he's that. And the shit that I can laugh about it because I see from another point of view of, like, you know what, I'm in this world, we're all gonna die, we're all gonna, you know, and, you know, none of us are gonna live forever or whatever. And I've led enough, I've fucking worked most of my life on my art stuff, but really, like, I've accomplished shit that people said I couldn't accomplish, and they tried. And the more people tried to stop me to accomplish what I needed to, and since I have, even if the world doesn't want to accept it, even if they said I couldn't sing, or they said I couldn't play guitar, I couldn't play lead, I couldn't write, you know, create, I couldn't finish projects, all the negative stuff that they said about me and my art and my accomplishments, you know, I proved them wrong already. You know, they don't have to accept it. They don't have to buy it. They don't have to, like, they can keep going with what they're doing. But the reality is that the world knows that this little Mexican kid ended up being a badass artist and is just as good as anyone else out there. And I have been. Other artists knew it. You know, that's why they came at me. They didn't come at me just because I was just some normal person. They came at me because they knew the power God gave me, you know, the gifts God gave me. Maybe I didn't use them all perfect, but I became a great artist. Like, I know my skills of creation are right there with anybody. You know, I might not accomplish as much as I should or would or want to. Like, I haven't finished all the paintings I want to. I haven't created the style that I want to create. But I finished all my old work, all the important stuff. I made my albums. You know, I created another one with the help of other people. But when they told me, oh, people try to diminish you, it's weird. It's like, so weird. Like, they say, like, the guy I made an album with, I was like, that's not how I want it. You know, I want this sound. I want to do this. So the battle of trying to get your song to sound how you want it and to be able to play your own song or, like, do it how you want it, like, was a battle. So the one guy, you know, like, you know, he played a lot of leads on my stuff or everything. I could have did, it would have sounded different, but it would have sounded, I think, just as good, you know. But at the same time, I appreciate how good he was. And so it ended up working out for the benefit of the song and made me more sharp. You know, when there's a challenge and you meet the challenge and it gets finished, you end up stronger at the end of that. So those songs are what they are. Those recordings are what they are. But that's why I feel confident and all that stuff, you know, because I've been weathering the storm, and you know, I'm still alive, and I hope, you know, people say race has nothing to do with it, but it does. You know, it did. It's not the main. It might not be the main part of who I am, or who we all are, but it was part of the environment and time that I've lived in. Like, you know, being a black baseball player, you know, not getting to play, you know, like, that's how I felt in Butte County, and I did it anyway. They didn't want to give me no shows when I came back from art school. They didn't want, like, every show, like 3 times, like, I went to get people and asked them and got a show, and then they're like, oh no, sorry, canceled it right after. For whatever reason, they think, you know, if they would have just asked me, or we would have fixed the situation, it would have been a totally different story. Because it's been 2009, 2008. Now it's 2018, and people are still questioning that stuff. You know what I'm saying? If I was a white man, that shit wouldn't have happened like this. It could be because I'm poor. It could be whatever reason. I'm not going to make excuses for whatever it is. But the reality is it needs to end whatever way, because I still got shit to do in my family. I got to try to fix whatever's left of that. And God willing, we'll see what happens next. Sorry for ranting. I hope you listened to this and you got something out of it. I'm going to try to stick to the facts. So